Hello, everyone, and welcome to some more SGL Season 9 action. Tonight, we have the luxury of watching Steel Army of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds versus Los Verdes of Austin FC. My name is Luis. I will be one of two commentators tonight. Maz, how we doing?
It's good to be back, Luis. Real talk, I've been struggling for this whole year, so honestly. Like, my health has not been in good condition, but I finally feel good enough to hop back into the commentary booth and get going once again. So good to be here with you, Luis. And I cannot wait for this matchup. I feel like this is one of those sneaky good matchups that, people will downplay because they have a very obvious favorite. It's a very much David and Goliath situation. But I think this is going to be a good one, folks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one indeed, and obviously we do have a David on the team, on the Los Verdes team, and he will definitely be playing the David role in this matchup. Obviously, Steel Army are the favorites going into this one. They are top of the table, Maz. They are rolling. They are my favorite, have been my favorite for the SGL championship, and so I agree. I think it's going to be a colossal task for Los Verdes tonight, but we've seen stranger things happen in this league of ours, so looking forward to it.
And you know what? Just to highlight the stranger aspect and the closeness of this overall, community. How about we just take a quick look at the league standings, Luis, just to see where we're at, especially in the championship league.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, folks, as you can see right here, let's focus on the right side. We'll save the left side for later. Look at that. Steel Army is up there, sure, but look at how close every other team is. You have a 4-point gap, a 1-win gap between Steel Army in first and Los Verdes in fifth. If Los Verdes sweep, they're tied at the top. That's how close it is. If Los Verdes win, they could get within 2 points of Steel Army. If Steel Army wins 2 out of their 5 games, of course. And then you have the rest of the teams right then and there. They're all very close. It's really tough to call. I mean, of course, you have poor, unfortunate Axon Rose SC coming in and really experiencing a baptism by fire, unfortunately for them. But look at how close this is, Luis. Like, has this surprised you?
I mean, after last season, we talked about it a lot last season. Just Season 8 was probably one of the most, parity-driven leagues that we've had so far in our tenure in SGL. But, I mean, this season's kind of shaping up to be that way. Obviously, we did divide both leagues into, ranks. And so we have a parity, or at least we tried, right? That was one of the goals in mind. And so I'm not surprised. And honestly, I think as a competitor, as a viewer, as a commentator, it's nice to see that everybody on any given night can get a W. And so I'm just, me personally, Mavs, not really a fan of sweeps. And so even as a player, sweeps are kind of boring. So yeah, I'm glad to see the parity, and I would say that I would think a sweep is likely tonight, but let's hope that Los Verdes can bring a little bit to the table.
Yeah, and speaking of sweeps and all, week 1 was all about the sweeps. Week 2 was anything but the sweeps, but I think we'll save that for later. We have about 5 or so minutes remaining, folks, so I'd like to go over the schedule overall, Luis, if you don't mind, and just show everyone what we are looking forward to for this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
And as you can see right here, of course, Los Verdes versus Steel Army is the first match of coming up this week. We also have EC Defiance versus Axon Rose SC, the Cascadia Derby in our SGL Championship League. Then you have EM Big Dogs versus BNG Old Timers, 2 teams that, started off, good, but also kind of struggle, and now they're just trying to get back into it again, see if they can start to split the gap with each other. From each other. And on the Premier side, you have some really tasty matchups as well. You have a Seattle Derby between Emerald City RC and EC Eternal. The EC Eternal had their own baptism by fire. We could talk about that later some more. But going over the rest of the matchups, the Rebellion versus Timbers Army, that might be one to look forward to just to see if we can get any interesting moments. And then you have, finally, El Matador versus KC Cauldron, which I think is going to be the match of the week overall, Luis. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we'll start with the championship side. I think that EM Big Dogs team versus the BG Old Timers is going to be kind of a battle for that number 2 team, or at least competing for that number 2 spot behind Steel Army. Obviously, you have EC Defiance in that mix as well. So I'm looking forward to that match whenever that gets scheduled. And then, yeah, another Seattle Timbers game on the right side of the screen. We had a Seattle Timbers game on the left side of the screen last week. But moving on over to the premiere, I think EM KC probably the game of the week. But yeah, we have a Seattle Derby as well. So one of the things this season, Maz, that I really enjoy is that there's no lack of good games, right? Last season there would be occasions or weeks where, you know, the top half would play the bottom half and you'd see a lot of unbalanced games. But I think this season, every week there's always going to be at least one or two like really, really good matchups, and that's exactly what we have here in week number 3.
Oh, big time. Absolutely. And I think one of our community members in Rydog highlighted this very well, especially in the premiere. These games are going to get sweaty. They're going to get tense, and they're going to get very competitive. So every player needs to be up for it for every game. You know, you can't just rest on your laurels and think you have it easy. I mean, just ask Casey Cauldron what they had to deal with last week.
Yeah, and I think, Kate, man, we'll speak more in the podcast after the stream, or after the game, excuse me, which I don't know if we've decided if it's going to be 2 different streams, but there will be a podcast after this match between LV and Steel Army, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we'll talk more about that on the podcast. What I will say, just a TLDR, is that I thought the Rebellion played really well in that series against KC. They really showed out. I thought they had absolutely zero chance, and they played great. So, yeah, we'll talk more in the podcast. But I'm looking forward to, yeah, obviously personally, I'm just looking forward to that game versus KC, and obviously friends on both sides, so should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, as you said, we'll save a lot more of this stuff for the podcast. We have a lot to talk about there, folks. A lot to review and a lot to look over as well in terms of clips and such. But for now, let's focus on this current matchup between Los Verdes and Steel Army, Luis. I want to start with Los Verdes in particular because if you look at the team profiles, you can see that, you know, both teams are kind of adventurous, you know, like they take a decent number of shots. The only thing is, Steel Army's more clinical, and they're way better at passing the ball to each other. You could put that down to, you know, team chemistry and familiarity. But what can Los Verdes do to disrupt that?
I think if they have any chance in this series, Maz, I think Palace 512 David's gonna have to be the best player in the lobby, and honestly, he probably is, or at least he's tied up there with Debit as being the best player in the lobby, and so I'm looking for him to have a monster series. Again, if they just want a chance at winning the series, I think without that sort of performance from him, I think it's admittedly a bit of a long shot that they even get one game, at the very minimum. So, I mean, what are you kind of seeing here with the numbers and just kind of the analysis?
Well, overall, I'm seeing that Los Verdes likes to be proactive. They don't want to just sit back and absorb the pressure and play on the counter, you know, like certain other teams in SGL. They want to go out there. They want to create chances. They want to score goals. The only problem is they just haven't had the quality to do it. And that means they're lighter at the back as well, unfortunately, which is why they have a higher goals conceded and fewer saves than Steel Army. I mean, look at Steel Army. They have more saves than Los Verdes. And this is a team that takes more shots. And the only reason for that is they are well organized and they don't just overcommit. Like, they're very good at keeping themselves in shape and making sure their rotations are on point as well. And I think, you know, you need Palace to step up, but you also need someone to hunt down Debit and make sure that he gets disrupted. Force Bear Blitz and Red 4 or Raisin Boy to really step up and start contributing. With how good Debit's play, you need to shut him down. And I think it's a good time to take a segue into the player stats to just show you how important Debit has been to this team. I mean, look at this, Luis. Most demos, most saves, both in double digits. And goals in double digits as well. And this dude's taken 32 shots. Like, this dude has been the center of Steel Army's play.
Yeah, and I think Toe Death in chat brings up a good point. I mean, I think you see the numbers here from Debit. I mean, he has been the MVP of the SGL Championship so far, and I think LV might want to take a page out of what Toad's saying. Just get this guy off the field, right? I mean, without him on the field, obviously he can do a lot less, and so these numbers are scary, and of course Debit's a scary player on the field, and so Los Verdes are going to have some sort of game plan around him to neutralize his ability. And so demoing is probably the the best thing that you can do in a game like Rocket League. And so I look forward to seeing if they incorporate that into their gameplay.
And you know what? I think you could say the same thing about Steel Army as well, Luis. If they want to stop Los Verdes, from even having a foothold, they have to hunt Palace down. That dude is the main man. I mean, he may not be showing it in the numbers right here. Devin has been the guy in the center of a lot of play for Los Verdes. But when Palace came in week 2, he was running the show. He was controlling everything, and he may not have been at the forefront of, the shots or the saves, but he was making sure his teammates were elevated. So if you stop Palace, you stop Los Verdes.
Yeah, and I think what we've learned with the players that are in the lobby, both teams are in the lobby, Maz. I think we have the brothers for Steel Army, and I think for Los Verdes, who do we have? Trigga and Devin in the first lineup, and so I'm liking this Los Verdes lineup. They're one of the teams, Maz, that we never really know what lineup they're going to bring, and so I'm glad they're bringing a very strong one, and so I'm looking forward to getting this thing rolling.
Oh, absolutely, folks. We are just about ready to go. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Who do you think will win? How do you think this match will go? What do you guys think the scoreline will be? You said a sweep earlier, Luis. I struggle to see anything much different, but I'm going to go with 3-1 to Steel Army. I think Los Verdes is going to get a game out of Steel Army. I just don't think they'll get 2 or even a win, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you there, Maz. I think that if they got one game in this series, I think they'll consider that a win, and so I'm going to give them that win. I'll go 3-1 as well. But here we go. Both teams are making their way onto the field. All the eggs around the stadium are jumping for joy. And here we go. Game number 1 of week number 3 in SGL Season 9.
A bit of an awkward moment as Los Verdes got the first shot on goal, but Steel Army get away with it. And just as instantly as Los Verdes got a shot, Steel Army were able to bring the ball forward into the other end. Nice start by Los Verdes, though. You'd think they would take some hope off of that and, be more confident in their overall game as they almost got a first goal there.
Yeah, Los Verdes have started the better team. They probably should have scored, Maz, on that initial run-up field, and you saw a great flick from Palace there, and it almost beat Debit, but Debit's so good defensively. We mentioned Debit's saves in the pregame, and he came up with a big one there for his team.
Debit once again playing a part, but Debit with a really nice 50. Palace trying to bring it out with a dribble. Bear Blitz in a good position. Ooh, nice pass into the midfield. Debit, though, could not get a shot off. Good defensive position from Los Verdes right here. So far, Luis, I think Los Verdes are playing this perfectly. They're focusing on the defense, but you cannot stop Debit when he is in the form that he is in right now. What a good start for Steel Army right here.
Yeah, first real chance a minute into the game, and I just think Debit took advantage of having more boost than the Los Verdes defender. I think Trigga in net there caught with no boost, and of course in the game like Rocket League, Maz, boost is very important. And so for all that pressure that Los Verdes started with, they're trailing 1-0.
And it's really important to highlight the boost aspect as Debit almost gets a second clutch save by Palace, Luis. Oh my goodness, if that went in, that could have spelled huge trouble for Los Verdes. That should hopefully keep them going as Palace gets another shot off the backboard. Can he get a second touch?
Ooh.
My goodness, what an effort. Open net, but that is not on target, Luis. You got to make those chances count.
Yeah, and this is a counter on the other end. David puts a hand up on Debit, but Los Verdes, they have to finish these chances. I mean, these are tremendous setup plays, and their teammates are just not finding the back of the net. And how many times against Steel Army have we said that if you're not finishing your chances, you are going to lose? And so far, Los Verdes, 3 really, really glorious chances and have yet to put one in the back of the net.
And I think Los Verdes has listened to you, Luis, because after the initial spell where they were kind of struggling to get the boost, they have been much better with their boost management. We'll see if they can keep this up. Right now, they're just pinned into their own end. They're not able to get out as Steel Army are really cranking up the pressure in the midfield. Debit, unfortunate not to get a touch there, and he has to go back and reset. Do you think this will be a good chance for Los Verdes to really establish themselves now?
Yeah, and another kind of 50 shot off the near post there. And so 4 or 5 chances, the chances are building up. And it just feels like Steel Army's only really had one chance, and they took advantage of it. And so this just kind of separates Steel Army, Maz. I mean, this is kind of what makes them so dangerous, is that they don't need a lot of chances. But Devin, he does get the dunk. I thought from my angle it might have hit the post, but 1-1. Devin puts away the 6th or 7th chance for Los Verdes, and they finally make it count.
What an insane dunk that is, Luis. I know some people talk about being lucky, but he made his own luck right there, coming out, pressuring, was that Devin in the midfield? And getting a goal that Los Verdes so badly needed in this game 1. Oh my goodness, what an incredible moment right there. They have to capitalize on this.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, this is a way better Los Verdes performance than I ever thought they would put up. And so far, a minute left on the counter. Unfortunately, David, no boost, but this has been a tremendous start to the series for Los Verdes, and this has to make them confident going forward as we move further on in today's series.
A Game 1 win will be so huge for Los Verdes. You know, Palace is a confidence player. Devin is also a confidence player. If they could get that Game 1 win, Steel Army might be in a bit of trouble, especially considering how consistent they have been. They've not really had much of a setback this season so far. This might be their first setback, and we'll see how they can respond, but so far, really good by Los Verdes. Not really overcommitting like we thought they would based on what we discussed earlier. And they're basically beating Steel Army at their own game, aren't they?
Ooh, they are. Kind of a big whiff there from Palace, kind of uncharacteristic from him. And yeah, a minute left here, and I never thought that I'd say that, yeah, Los Verdes have been the better team 4 minutes in, but it's not just a 4-minute game, and we still have 50 seconds left as we see a tremendous pass mid from Devitt. A couple of whiffs from 2 different players. Can Trigga get there? He can. Bear Blitz 2-1.
Oh, I'm holding my head right now, Luis. I don't know how you're feeling, but those whiffs, you will get punished if you whiff. And those weren't fakes either, folks. Devin was trying to go for the ball. Palace had to get back into it with no boost. Steel Army get the lead with less than a minute to go. Can Los Verdes come back and respond?
And Palace almost responds immediately. Ball a little bit to the left side of the goal. As we see him go for a bump, I really respect the bump play, and this might be the second. Palace with a tremendous beat on like no boost. I'll be honest, Matt, when he was in the air, I was like, there's no way he's getting to this ball, but Palace, 2-2.
David responds against Goliath with what looked like 10 or less boost. He was able to get up really quickly and was able to beat Bear Blitz to the ball, get the equalizer, less than 30 seconds to go. Redford couldn't respond. Los Verdes are getting back into it. Luis, what a Game 1 we have in store right here.
Yeah, tremendous Game 1, and as we see Devitt on net, Palace save. Can Los Verdes counter here? No, another save from Palace 10 seconds to go. Palace putting up a monster game, 554 points for him. Can he get the game-winning goal here? It's off the crossbar.
Oh my goodness.
He misses the shot. Down there, Trigga.
No!
Off the crossbar, and we go to OT. That should have been Game 1 to the Austin FC side.
So close, yet so far. The post and crossbar rescue Steel Army. But you'd think Los Verdes would be dragged down to the trenches in terms of their confidence, but no, look at them. They're coming back up. Devin with a second touch. Luis, this is an inspirational performance by Los Verdes after what they had to deal with at the start of the season. And Palace gets the winner just like that.
What? Wait, why isn't it open? Where is Bear Blitz going? And he almost saves it. He honestly should have saved this, Maz. I gotta be honest, I think David went for the dunk, and wow, I'm kind of just speechless. What's happening? This is not real.
What is happening is David is stepping up against Goliath. Just as written in the books, Luis. You're more religious than I am in terms of Christianity, so I can't say much about it. But, I mean, this is incredible. What a start by Los Verdes. They needed a Game 1. They absolutely needed a Game 1, and they have gotten that. I mean, dare I say it, are they playing with house money at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the sky's really the limit. I mean, you get this Game 1, and your confidence has got to be through the roof. And again, Palace, we mentioned it, or we talked about it. He had to have, I put in chat, he needs a LeBron type of performance, and so far, 703 points. 2 goals, 5 saves on 4 shots, a good percentage there, and man, he was tremendous. But I'll be honest, I think Devin was also an MVP in that game. I really liked his touches. I see him on the game a lot more, and so kudos to Devin as well. And you know, I expected Elite Stroker to be in this series, but Trigga filled in really nicely. And here we go, game number 2. I mean, is it really possible that Los Verdes actually beat Steel Army here?
Who knows? I mean, you know, this is SGL. You know, the momentum could just swing like that at the start of a brand new game. And you know what? Maybe Steel Army might need a substitution to swing their momentum on their favor. Raisin Boy, I see you in chat. Is there a chance for you to get involved?
Yeah, obviously Raisin Boy in chat. Bizbo, welcome to chat as well. Good to see you. Always try to highlight people who are typing in chat. Obviously we had Toe Death as well, and really appreciate you guys being here. Obviously as commentators, we like seeing the chat flowing, so make sure you have your voices heard. And yeah, so far, I mean, with a bit of a surprise here, this would be the shocking result so far of SGL Season 9. Again, it's only Game 1. We're barely into Game number 2. And so, if they manage to do it, Maz, this could be, yeah, the story so far of SGL Season 9.
And you know, we have Raisin Boy of Steel Army in the chat. Now, Arglis of Los Verdes steps into the chat, lurking as usual, checking out his teammates, seeing how they can get started in this Game 2 at Forbidden Temple. Another good kickoff start right there. And, you know, speaking of people in chat, I see Bizbo as well. Bizbo, how you doing? Welcome back into the chat. Look forward to seeing you playing in your weekly matchup against Emerald City RC. Gotta hold the phone there. Devin gets the perfect start for Los Verdes in this Game 2.
Devin just booms the ball, Maz. Devin with absolutely 100 boosts and just misses the ball. What is happening here? Is this Steel Army? Like, is this Los Verdes in disguise? Like, what is happening? It's like the role reversal I never thought we'd ever have.
Oh!
Speaking of role reversals, David puts the second goal away, and I mean, we're in the middle of March Madness right now. There haven't been too many upsets in that tournament, but we're well on our way to our first big upset of SGL Season 9, sorry.
This is absolutely insane right now what Los Verdes are doing. Devin was going for a fast kickoff. Trigga went with the slower approach, was able to capitalize on that. Alice getting the second for Los Verdes. Right now, Steel Army are on the back foot, and this is, you know, troublesome for them. Another win right now. This is totally unlike Steel Army. I have no idea what's going on with them.
Yeah, you mentioned the whiff there. Bear Blitz just whiffs on a ball that I've seen him hit 100 times out of 100. It's just, are the nerves getting to them, or what's going on here? I mean, it could be 3. Devin, oh, he backed off. I feel like he could have gone for that, but saw he was third man, and it really could be 3-0 here with just over a minute played. But speaking of goals, I thought Debit was going to get one there, Maz, but Los Verdes hold strong.
And once again, if you notice, it wasn't a big thing, but Palace was in the right spot at the right time to stop Debit's lofted shot from going into the back of the net. It's those little things that make a big difference, and that's why you need to stop Palace if you need to stop Los Verdes.
Yeah, and it's open. I don't think David had the correct angle there. It was kind of a tough long bang, but it was open. All 3 Steel Army players were in the attacking half, and yeah, I don't know. This is just again, just speechless here. So see Bear Blitz with a really good stick on the air dribble, and Debit finishes off the play, and Steel Army right back in it. And wow, Bear Blitz, Team Queso putting on the nice aerial play there for his team.
Vintage Steel Army, Luis. Bear Blitz getting control of the ball, dribbling it up, dribbling it in the air, off the backboard. Devin sniping it into the back of the net. Devin was a little too late there. Palace decided to go up as well instead of trusting Devin. And now it's a 1-goal lead for Los Verdes. Steel Army have the momentum on their side. Although Los Verdes look really good defensively so far. Let's see if Steel Army can up the pace and really start to take control right here.
Yeah, I'm liking the slow play from Palace here. Can you get it past mid? Oh, if Trigga would have trusted that Palace would have won that, he could have had an open net. And again, Palace to the rescue, because I don't think Trigga was getting that, but this is a dangerous chance for Steel Army. Can they finish? No. Devin puts a hand up, but they're running low on boost.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed as well is in this recent spell, Los Verdes have been low on boost, and that has helped Steel Army to advance forward. One thing I like Steel Army to do is just to be, more aggressive, take away more of those boosts, really pin back Los Verdes as that shot goes into the back of the net, off of the corner. Talk about making your own luck. It's now Steel Army's turn with Devin dunking on Devin. Trigger with not enough boost and anticipation to get onto that, and we have a 2-2 score live with 2 minutes 10 seconds to go.
A 3-man kickoff play from Los Verdes doesn't come off, but Palace, a lovely double recovery on 0 boost. And I love the passing play with Devin. Again, this connection of Devin and Palace has been awesome, man. I think Devin's really been on his game. But yeah, I mean, this is Steel Army down 2-0. They've been here, done that. And they've responded like the would-be champs that I think that they will be, Maz. And oh, another tremendous save from David. All the pressure on the blue net. Can they get the save? Devin gets the save on no boost. And oh, Steel Army's got him pinned here, Maz. It feels like a matter of time before the third one goes in. Yeah,
this is huge trouble. But Palace comes up with a huge save against Bear Blitz. Not over yet, though. You see Bear Blitz with 0 boost trying to go for the ball. Gets the corner and the bump on Trigger. Double commit. Open net. Devin with the 3rd goal. And just like that, Steel Army get into the lead. That is why you need to trust your teammates and keep your composure, Luis.
Yeah, and it must be said, the bump on Trigger was what caused all of that panic. And Steel Army, from being down 2-0, are back in the lead and looking for number 4. Devitt can't quite make it, but this is the response of true SGL competitors that we've seen Steel Army be for, numerous seasons now, Maz, and really liking this. Oh, a way to flip reset. Hello. We're evolving here in the SGL Championship, but wait, is this it? Oh, no, Devitt's there, but yeah, great response from Steel Army, Maz.
One player who we haven't really mentioned all too often is Trigger. Luis, with how Trigger has played here, do you think he's been a key player for this Los Verdes side? And if so, how important has he been to this performance from the team?
Yeah, he's been all right. Obviously the weaker of the 3 players, but I think he's been all right. And oh no, the commentator screams, wait, Devin misses an open net. It's a 2v1. One needs to go bump for Los Verdes, but it's a passing play. Oh, I would have loved Devin to go bump there. He has full boost, but yeah, Trigger's been all right, and gonna need a big performance from him this series if they want to win it. And speaking of him, great save. 10 seconds left, Maz. It has to be now for Los Verdes.
Oh no, that bump! It holds Los Verdes back. Shot on net, off target, but it doesn't matter. Steel Army get 1 back thanks to the clinical finishing from Devitt. Hat-trick hero, and really the MVP as well. Oh my goodness, look at that performance, Luis. 11 shots, a hat-trick, the most touches, more than double the touches, honestly. This is just incredible from Steel Army, and Devitt in particular.
Yeah, great response from the current MVP of SGL so far this season. And I want to harp back on that last play that Los Verdes had. I mean, if Devin goes in demos, it's a 2v1 Palace on the ball with no boost. It's one of those plays where if you play the game a little bit more, you've had a little bit more experience, you recognize that you're the teammate with boost versus the last defender. And would be interesting to ask them what the comms were like there, because it looked like Palace tried to pass him the ball. And so I wonder if a pass was called instead of a demo, because that really could have been the equalizing goal for Los Verdes. But Steel Army walk away with game number 2, and now, Maz, we got a best of 3.
And really, those little moments make a big difference, don't they? I mean, they also show you the difference in, quality between the two sides as well. One team that's been there, done that, played together for so long, versus a team that's still trying to figure each other out after having only gone together last season. In your experience, how long does it take for players to get accustomed to each other?
Yeah, I think it all depends on how many hours you have in the game and skill level. I think if you're a high level player and you play with a couple other high level players, it doesn't take as long as playing with people who have lives and touch grass and, you know, have work and girlfriends, stuff like that. So, but yeah, we'll see how long it takes for them to get going this season. But here we go, game number 3, best of 3. Can Los Verdes come back from a pretty pitiful game number 2 from their standards that we saw in game number 1?
You say that, but they did start off with a 2-0 lead, to be fair, Luis. It's just Steel Army really rebounded back, and Los Verdes were pinned back as they were struggling to get some of that boost from their end. And one thing I want to highlight, during that intermission, Raisin Boy has entered for Red 4, and that is a huge sub for Steel Army. That means big trouble for Los Verdes because they have to deal with a third, you know, highly consistent X-Factor kind of a player now. And I mean, if you're Los Verdes, what do you do at this point? Do you just focus on your own game, or do you try to worry about Raisin Boy in any which way?
You just got to keep playing your own game, and so far, I mean, I'm liking how they're playing. I mean, I think, as we see, Trigga gets the dunk. Can Raisin Boy get there? He cannot. 1-0. Trigga with the first goal of game number 3. This came from nothing, Maz. I thought really nothing of it when the 50 happened, but what a response. What a start for Los Verdes. About as good of a response that you could have asked for.
You know, one thing I want to highlight is the growing level of quality that we're seeing in SGL overall, especially in SGL Championship. That moment highlights it, Luis. Trigga, instead of opting to boom the ball, touches it, lets it roll on the floor, and that is what allows him to get that dunk because Devin was not ready for that touch. He had to pause right on the spot, tried to get a 50 and failed. It's those little things that make such a big difference. And, you know, if you're watching this and you're not necessarily a high-level player, focus on the fundamentals and the basics. Dribbling, touches to keep control of the ball. You know, instead of having to move it far away every single time, you can also keep it close and drag the opposition out of their comfort zone. And that's what we're seeing with this Los Verdes team. They've been so much better with their ball usage than they have been at any other point this season.
Yeah, and I second that, and as we see Raisin Boy, oh my goodness, that looked in for my angle, Maz, but it stays out, and it's still 1-0. Bear blitz to a stealing pass. Can Devitt get there? He can, but it's just off that near post, and Los Verdes survive. But man, Bear blitz stealing shots in 2025. I love to see it.
I want Bear Blitz to score a highlight reel goal. Like, you can sense that he's getting closer and closer, but he just hasn't had it yet. And so far, Steel Army are huffing and puffing, but they haven't been able to blow this Los Verdes wall down. Palace holding on so far. Palace intervening, getting a demo for his trouble. And Trigga acting as a big disruptor there too. These guys are trying to get in front of the ball at every single opportunity. They're making sure this Steel Army team doesn't get a second of respite, a second to set themselves up.
Yeah, Devin no boost here. This could pose trouble for LV. Devitt to Bear blitz, back to Devitt. Devitt misses. Kind of a hard ball to read there, coming in pretty fast, but this could be a counter for Los Verdes. Trigga can't get the 50 on Bear blitz, and it's end-to-end stuff here. I never thought we would see that going in, and Devin misses, but Raisin Boy bails out his captain. And
second chance.
Could this be a goal? Oh, it's not. It's just good pressure from Los Verdes. Now the question is, can Steel Army counter here?
No, they cannot, because Palace is right there, getting the ball off of Devin, off of the ceiling. Both Devin and Devin miss. And Trigga needs to hold his position. Now he can go, but oh my goodness, they get so close yet again.
Trigga would have liked to see him leave that there for Palace, but I respect the play, and all of the pressure is in the orange half, and you just gotta, if you're Los Verdes, just try not to get overexposed as we see a double commit come out. 1 minute left, Maz. Can Los Verdes hold on here?
Oh, barely. And Palace needs to clear this away to the side. Steel Army are getting closer and closer with less than a minute to go. Huge clearance by Los Verdes. Palace taking over on the left corner. Pinches it away to the opposite end. Someone needs to follow this up. And Devin does a big clutch clearance there, Luis. You think this is Los Verdes' game 3, isn't it?
Yeah, and every time Palace goes forward, I kind of tremble because it's just so, how many times have we seen Los Verdes, if Palace isn't back, they just concede, but a great play from David there, 18 seconds left. Devin misses the ball. He needs a big 50. He gets it. This is open if he can get back. And he does.
Dagger!
Devin, what a play. He has been tremendous, Maz. Just so many great touches, and Los Verdes are going to take the lead in the series again. Wow, what a performance so far from the Austin boys.
Steel Army had to commit right there, Luis, and Los Verdes played that perfectly. They have definitely learned their lessons from the first 2 games, and they will seal Game 3 in DFH Stadium on match point against the league leaders, the team with the perfect record. It's Steel Army. Luis, this is absolutely unbelievable right now. What are we seeing? I mean, this is just mind-blowing at this point.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing stuff. Devin has been so good. I mean, this is Devin's best performance so far in SGL, bar none. I mean, the numbers might not blow you away, but just the touches, the positioning, the 50s, he's been so good. And that's kind of what we've always been asking for from Los Verdes, right? Is we know what Palace can bring. Can there be another player that can play up or near his level? And so far, Devin's doing exactly that against, and we keep saying it, the best team. And so this is the best time for Devin to put in a monster performance for his side.
Oh, absolutely. And I know we keep talking about Devin and Palace, but I just want to highlight how much of a better team this is. You're seeing a proper team performance right here from Los Verdes. The spacing is so much better. You're not seeing too many instances of Los Verdes players getting in each other's way. I mean, they did in Game 2, but this Game 3 has been miles better. And right now, they have a chance to win the whole match in this Game 4. Will we see that happen? I don't know. Bisbo and chat saying back and forth, great series. I fully agree, and I won't be surprised if we see a response from Steel Army as well, given how this whole match has gone.
Yeah, and obviously in our commentary, Maz, we're glazing Los Verdes a lot, and you know, it must be said, I think Steel Army are playing a little bit down to their standards. For all the great play that Los Verdes is showing on the field, which of course they are, this is a Steel Army team that's looked a little rattled, and that's not usually something you say about a Steel Army team, you know, and so I'm looking for a bounce back from these SGL veterans here in game number 4.
I absolutely agree. And you know what? I'm going to say this as well. It's a bit of a hot take, but I'm not too surprised. Because if you remember, I think Bear Blitz mentioned this a while back, but Steel Army likes to play to the level of the opposition. That's just how they roll. In past instances, you know, they've been able to punish the opposition because they've been able to make quite a few mistakes. In this case, Los Verdes aren't making too many mistakes, and I think they're starting to feel the wrath as Raisin Boy comes in, gets a nice shot into the far post for one. Steel Army needed to start off well, and they finally do in this Game 4. 1-0 to Steel Army.
Yeah, unfortunately, Trigger there can't read the rolling ball. It goes just to the left of his vehicle, and Raisin Boy puts the first goal in, and there was a bunch of fish on the field there, and just the start that you wanted from a team that's been under the cosh so far for the first 3 games. And again, this is something, you know, to expect from Steel Army. They're veterans. They've literally seen it all, you know. They've been here through thick and thin, and so I look for them to have a good mental Maz as we continue this series.
Absolutely, you cannot dispute their mental fortitude. I mean, these guys have been around, starting off as silver and gold players, and they've improved to this level. Been there, done that. Right now, they're dealing with a little bit of adversity despite being in a 1-0 lead, but they're able to see the soft counterattack from Debit. Shot on net, open goal. This is the Steel Army of old, Luis. They're back for this Game 4, and I'd say it's the perfect time for them to come back.
Yeah, unfortunately, Palace gets demoed there in the offensive third, and ball pops out, and Steel Army do a really good job of converting on that demo. And man, are we going to go to Champions Field? It really feels like that. Or does Los Verdes have a response? Palace, good 50. Debit with a good recovery. Can he turn on and shoot on this? He should have a decent chance. He puts it around one. Around Bear Blitz, off the post. They finish it? They can't. They hit the post again. That was almost a tremendous 1v3 play from the Los Verdes talisman.
The one big moment that Los Verdes had, and that was a good save by Steel Army. No follow-up, though. I think they're feeling a little hesitant right now. They're kind of worried about conceding too many goals way too soon. Devin whiffs that shot. And now Razor Boy comes back up. You can sense a shift in the tides. As Steel Army are looking more confident. You see that dribble attempt from Devin. Oh my goodness. I think Los Verdes are just pinned back. They're struggling to really get out. They're not getting first to the ball. I mean, it's a real shift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real shift, and man, on that play,
my
Palace dunks, that could have gone anywhere, really. Tremendous dunk from him there, but yeah, so far, I mean, there's been only a couple of chances for Los Verdes. This has been all Steel Army, at least for the majority of the game, and still over 2 minutes left, so there's plenty of time here for Los Verdes, but they need good boost consumption here. I've seen them running on low a little bit too much throughout the game, and so let's look for them to have a little bit better boost consumption if they want to get back in this game number 4.
And they need it now more than ever because these guys are getting bombed a ton at this moment. Another demo attempt right there. Steel Army are being relentless at this moment. Big save by Bear Blitz. Oh, I don't know how they're going to shake this off. Another big save this time by Raisin Boy. So far, Los Verdes are not looking too shaken up, but you never know when Steel Army can get a third as Devin takes a shot right on goal.
And this could be a shot. I thought Palace could have been beaten Raisin Boy, but Raisin Boy was quick to it. And yeah, I'm liking the attempts on net from Los Verdes. They're definitely putting way more pressure on the goal in the back half of this game. But one thing that I've liked from Steel Army is Bear Blitz. He couldn't finish. He didn't have the boost. One thing that I've liked from Steel Army in this game, Maz, is the physical play. They are demoing and bumping a lot more than we've seen. Can David finish this off? No, he couldn't put it in mid. It's unfortunate for his team, but yeah, I like that little micro change in the Steel Army game plan. It's been really working really well for them.
Yeah, and it's completely disrupted Los Verdes' mojo right now. This Steel Army team is in their element. They're back at their best. Dare I say it, Goliath has stepped up after getting knocked down a couple of times. And it's now David who's shaking, who is struggling to stand on his 2 feet, who has to deal with the battle wounds. 2-0 at the moment with less than 30 seconds to go. You'd think we are going to go to game 5 unless Los Verdes can get a goal out of nowhere, but it's not looking likely at this moment, is it, Luis?
It has to be now. Ball from Trigga. Raisin Boy should have it very comfortably. Raisin Boy, one of the veterans, but is anybody there for Los Verdes? No. We're going to game number 5, Champions Field. Wow, this has been a tremendous series, and a series in which, Maz, I had very low expectations.
I mean, it was going to be a sleeper match, not going to lie, but even I was not expecting this back and forth affair between both sides. You know, one thing I want to ask you, Luis, if you're Los Verdes, would you be happy with getting 2 points in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think going into the series, you would always be happy with 2 points, but just given the way that this series has played out, if they can't get this done in game number 5, I think they're gonna feel a little let down. I'm gonna be honest, and again, that's an indictment on, that's an indication that they've just been playing so well, you know. And so, yeah, you're happy with the 2 points going in, but man, if they walk away with only 2 points, I think that David and Devin and Trigga are gonna be a little disappointed.
And folks, if you're hearing all these sounds in the background, it's because there's a lot of in-game chatter going on, and a lot of friendly conversation. Not banter per se, but just a lot of friendly inquiries like, hey, how you doing? You good? You sure you're fine? You know, very friendly atmosphere at the moment. As we enter Game 5, folks, Champions Field coming right up. All the friendly nature, all the friendly conversations, all of that, you know, amicable stuff, put it to the side right now. It's now or never. Winner takes all. David versus Goliath. Who will win, Luis, as we kick down to kickoff? Here we go.
Same lineups as game number 4. This is it, Maz. This is for all the marbles, and you got to wonder that now I think there's pressure on both teams, and
As you see David, I thought he almost doubled him over the ball, but yeah, pressure on both teams here. I mean, coming into the series, Maz, there was zero pressure on Los Verdes, but like I said in the intermission, I mean, given the way the series has played out, you got to feel there's a little pressure internally, you know, thinking that we can actually get this done against the team that nobody thought, and so let's see what they got in game number 5.
Even I'm feeling the pressure, not just commenting this match right now, Luis. Like, my heart's beating at this moment, not gonna lie. I can only imagine that these players are going through something much worse as a Raisin Boy comes in with a shot out of nowhere. Look at that freestyling. After Bear Blitz plays the perfect pass off of the backboard, shot into the near post. Trigger not ready for that. Palace was hoping for Trigger to make it. Huge start for Steel Army. 1-0, just like in game 4.
Yeah, I think that was a very obvious play, showing the nerves. Both Trigger and Palace doing the reverse rule 1, couldn't get it out of each other's way, and you can't just all three be standing still in that. It's just not going to be a good game plan no matter the level. And so let's see what response Los Verdes have here. Bear Blitz hits the ball out. Devin with a shot. Devin with a shot. Devin almost missed that, Maz. And so yeah, nerves are a factor here in game number 5.
Look at the defensive recoveries from Steel Army, though. You know, they go from one corner to the other, try to make sure they have enough boost. Trigger with a dunk attempt, not enough power. Devin with 0 boost clears it out. Palace now trying to follow up with 0 boost to no avail. That little bump means he loses all momentum, and now Los Verdes need to get themselves back into the midfield area to see if they can win a challenge. Devin, and then Trigger tries to follow up. Palace, he needs to go for a goal. He needs to do it all by himself. 2 keepers at the back, Raisin Boy and Devin both, and Bear Blitz with a nice touch to clear this out.
Bear Blitz takes the ball into the blue half. Debit with a flick. Palace is awkward, and Raisin Boy, second goal of the game for him, and he puts his team up 2. What a clinical counterattack from Steel Army.
Beautiful play, starting from Bear Blitz, dribbling the ball out. Anytime you see him do that, you are in trouble if you are in the opposition. And then Debit with a lofted pass. Raisin Boy coming in. That is Steel Army at their best, and right now they're leading 2-0 in Champions Field.
Yeah, and again, you gotta see a goal go in if you're the blue team, but this is, I thought it was just going in, but David to the rescue, and if you're the blue team, you need a confidence goal here. All the momentum is with the orange side, and could this be the counter? No, another double commit. Palace up in the air, can he get the skim? No, he misses. Debit with the save, and just feels like the noose is slowly shrinking here on the Los Verdes neck here, Maz, as they need a goal soon.
They absolutely do it. Moments like that will help. Nice dribble out into the midfield. Ball loose in the final third. Now Los Verdes need to go back. They're not able to capitalize on that. And that has been the story of this game 5 so far. Palace trying to go for a shot into the near post. Raisin Boy perfectly positioned, anticipating that. Oh my goodness, what a fortuitous effort. And somehow Steel Army keep this out. But not for too long. Luis, Trigger is back.
Man, the ball was going all over the orange net, and Trigger, what an angle. Wow. Again, you mentioned Trigger in the broadcast. He is the least talked about player on Los Verdes team, but he's put in a tremendous series.
2-1 to Steel Army, 2-2 in this matchup, and 2 minutes to go in this game 5. Los Verdes, they're coming back. Big dunk by Devin. They're looking more and more confident as this match develops. Steel Army need to make their chances count. They need to make their bumps count. They need to make their defending count. Big pass to Devin. Big 50 from Steel Army in the back. Now Devin dribbles it out. Great effort right there from Devin to see it off. Palace has no boost. He cannot follow up. He needs to go back. The whole team needs to go back. They have no boost. Oh my goodness,
wait,
it's not open. Oh my goodness. No way. Yes, with the equalizer.
Wait, what is happening? Raisin Boy just whiffs, and he puts it in between the brothers, and it's a tie game here. This has been tremendous, Matt. I'm kind of laughing because this is like, what's going on? This is crazy.
What's going on, Luis, is we're having a David and Goliath battle of epic proportions, and David is back. He's made Goliath rock. David bringing it back, but not for too long. Bear Blitz with a third. And we have less than 90 seconds to go, folks.
Yeah, Trigger there on the far post, just kind of hoping the ball comes mid to him, but what a pass, and David on the end. And yeah, this is just back and forth action, both fighters giving it their best shots here.
This is absolute insanity right now. And you'd think Los Verdes would be pumped and ready to go, but I think they just looked a bit too pumped. And right now, Steel Army are at the back. 1 minute remaining. It's less than 60 seconds to go. The clock is now ticking. Clock management important now for Steel Army. And for Los Verdes, they just got to keep their composure. They got to keep their belief. They should not force things. They should not try too hard. Big pass right there to Palace. Palace to Trigger. Trigger, though, too far back. Oh, big,
yeah, lovely
right
cut there from Palace.
Big bump. Devin does not have enough boost to follow up. Palace does not have enough boost for a second touch. Trigger wins. No.
Oh man, I would have liked David to go for a shot there instead of the double. He had such little boost, but Steel Army are surviving Maz, and 19 seconds left. Devin around one. Can he get it around Bear Blitz? Can he lead it for David? David, oh, Bear Blitz with the pre-jump save, and it saves his team. Both Steel Army players are in net. They're just trying to build the wall in front of the net. This should be a goal. It is! Palace, 3-3, 4 seconds left.
This game deserves overtime right now. 4 seconds to go. 3-3. David Palace wheels it in. And we're all tied up. You don't know how this is going to go. This could still end in normal time.
Oh my god, no way.
Big kickoff right there, folks. OT Game 5 Champions Field. This is Rocket League.
And if Raisin Boy would have done a normal kickoff and gone to the corner boost, they would have lost. Devin with the save. Trigger has to get there. He does. And here we go. Double commit from the Steel Army side. Palace on net, save Bear Blitz, and we're 20 seconds in. Wow, what a start.
This is the difference, though, between Steel Army and Los Verdes. When they get a save or a touch away, they keep control. Contrast that to Los Verdes. The ball is loose from Devin. Somebody needs to follow this up, and thankfully Palace has the time for his team to bring this out.
Lovely cut there from Palace. Bear Blitz low boost. Devin should win this race, but he does give it to Bear Blitz. He could have gone up the wall there, Maz. It might have been more advantageous. But here we go. Palace
oh my goodness.
Gets it around Raisin Boy. Devitt over one. This is
not good.
Kind of an open net. Back pass. Trigger. Devitt wins it. 4-3.
Heartbreaking moment for Los Verdes. But what a beautiful passing play between the brothers, Devin and Bear Blitz. And folks, we haven't even gone a minute into overtime, and Steel Army grabs the victory from the jaws of defeat. Goliath slays David.
Yeah, what a series. I mean, I don't know what I just watched. That was one of the most remarkable series of SGL that we've played so far in this league. And yeah, kudos to both teams. Steel Army remain top of the table. And Los Verdes, man, you got to feel for them. They really thought, especially in the game number 5, especially at the end of the game, that they really, really had a chance to win that series. And so, GG's to both teams, and I look forward to hearing from both sides.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, we need a chance to breathe right now. Because, excuse me. Woo, that was intense. Reese, I don't know about you, but that was the most exciting SGL game we've seen so far. I mean, I know we had Timbers Army versus Emerald City RC week 2 that went 5 games. This is arguably more exciting than that, for me personally.
Oh no, yeah, this is easily the game of the SGL Season 9 season. Easily. I mean, literally nobody would have expected it to go 5, let alone a Game 5 OT. So kudos to both teams for putting on a tremendous show in front of the stream and the chat and everybody. It's good to see Pipe Shot Gogan, saw Red 4 in there, Spanky, everybody joining, Elite Stroker as well. Good to see you guys, and I'm glad that you guys got to witness just a tremendous series. But wow, yeah, that was awesome, man.
That was absolutely insane. You know what? This is the perfect time to hear the thoughts of Steel Army, with Devitt about to join us very shortly. But before that, Luis, did you feel a faint of hope for Los Verdes in that Game 5? Did you? Be serious.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately thought they could have won that series very easily. This was definitely not a situation where they scrapped their way to a Game 5, and I thought that they were really the better team in at least a decent portion of the series. I'm not going to go a little bit too far here, but yeah, I thought that there was hope. I mean, that last kickoff in regulation, if Raisin Boy's not sitting in the net for literally no reason apart from, well, what transpired. I mean, if Raisin Boy would have done the bog standard Rocket League kickoff, I mean, Los Verdes would have been winners. And so, yeah, there was obviously a little bit of hope, but that was awesome from Los Verdes. And I think, Maz, it's safe to say that was the best performance that they've had so far as the Los Verdes team in SGL.
Big time. And you know what? It's time for the interview with Debit of Steel Army. Debit, tell us how you're feeling right now. That was a thriller of an SGL match.
Dude, we bring it every week. We are the entertainment factor right now. I did not want to go to 5, but that Los Verdes team forced us to go 5. And now we're just like, all right, phew.
Yeah, you're gonna watch back the series on stream, and then you're gonna hear our thoughts. But we were just blown away. I mean, obviously coming into the series, I mean, I think it's safe to say, and you probably say as well, that nobody expected it to go 5. I mean, Los Verdes historically not one of the best teams in SGL, but man, what was it like? It just facing. I mean, we just said it a second ago. That was probably the best Los Verdes performance that we've seen. I mean, what was it like facing them playing so well?
I was about to say, we talked a little bit like after the game, but like I know we didn't play our best, but dude, they kept coming at us with speed. Like David wasn't the one that was chasing around the entire time. Like he wasn't forced to like do like so many rolls in once. Dude, Devin's got the speedy 50s down, and then Drake's coming in for some little demo play, some physical play in front of the net. Oh, that's a well balanced squad they got over there. That's honestly, like, dude, like shout out them.
Yeah,
it caused us to make a lot of bad touches.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, that was Devin's best series by like a country mile in SGL. I mean, he was having follow-up touches, good 50s, and so yeah, it made for like we said it already. I mean, this is the series so far of SGL season 9. So glad, obviously, from y'all's end to be on the winning side. But hey, 12 points through 3 weeks, man. How's the team feeling?
Dude, feels good, feels great. Team's having fun so far in the championship. We're bringing League 2 vibes back to the championship, so it's good to be on this side of things. And we're done for the week, so, we're chilling.
Yeah, and that's awesome to hear. It's good to get it done on a Monday, especially if you're gonna have a stressful series like this. It's good to get it done on a Monday, but
exactly.
But yeah. I mean, I don't really have much more, Maz. I mean, we can save it for the podcast after the stream, but you got anything else for Debit?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. Not all you.
Oh, sweet. So I see Razor Boy coming in chat and just screaming himself off, like he used to back in the SGL commentary days. I mean, this dude came in trying to be a difference maker, and, more or less, he has played a big part in Steel Army's victory. How much do you attribute that Game 5 win to him?
Dude, he was just in the right place at the right time so many times. Now, granted, he was going to say he wasn't having a good last minute, but dude, like watching him like be ready like for those passes and just ready for those like touchdown shots that go like just over them into the bottom right. Such a good feeling having him be ready. And he's like always on the comm, like doing like the tennis grunt right before like going for a shot. It's incredible.
The tennis grunt. Oh my goodness. Dude, if you recorded any of the, in-team interactions and all, we'd love to hear some of that. Good content for the podcast. Future stuff.
Yeah, I really need to actually just like put this down on the calendar and yell at myself to do it. That's really all it is.
And yeah, folks, just as a quick mention, if you do want to feature your in-game comms, in our podcast. Feel free to record them, send them over to us, and we will feature them. There you go. Razor Boy chat saying, it's size that if you grunt, you hit the ball harder. Is this true?
True. It's absolutely true. I mean, heck, even I do it. Red4 does it. Bear definitely has done it before. Even though he doesn't do it as much. But, man, the grunts help. It really does.
You know what? Maybe this could be a good discussion topic for later. But for now, Devin, I'm going to have to let you go so you can get a breather and get some chats to, like, just take a bit of a break before we start the podcast. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout anyone out if you want. Go ahead.
This is a shout out to the team, especially y'all riding through it. Helping me get to this point. Guys, we're 3-0. We're chilling. And shout out Danny Griffin. Shout out his header on Saturday. Shout out the Steel Army for Tifo. I was part of getting paint splattered on for that King Kenny Tifo. Can't wait to do it and have more Saturdays with you all.
Hell yeah. Well said, Devin. And you know what? Go and have your well-deserved rest. Congrats on the huge win. GG's. We'll catch you in a bit.
All right. Peace out. Thanks, guys.
Peace. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, the vibes are immaculate right now for that team at the moment, Luis. And really, they should be happy that they have their perfect record intact when they could have so easily lost it.
No, yeah, I mean, we spoke about it in the broadcast. Steel Army are the vibes team, man. Those guys, win or lose, are always going to have, like, ridiculous vibes. And like Debbit said when he came into the chat, I mean, they're a content team. I mean, not only are they winning, not only do they have good vibes, but they're all about the content. And so, whenever you see Steel Army on the schedule, you always want to tune in.
Big time. And speaking of content, I think it's a good time to bring in the guy who might be the source of a lot of content in this interview. No, I'm not talking about Stroker. I am talking about Palace. David himself.
We were in the middle of a good conversation.
I told you to get ready, man. But you know what? Let's start this interview off with this. You talked about preparation. You talked about video reviews and all that. What was your preparation like for this Steel Army match?
I'll be honest. We didn't do shit. we didn't do a damn motherfucking thing. Excuse my language. Welcome to YouTube, everybody. Basically, here's what happened. I texted at like 10, I don't even know what time. Maybe like noon, maybe like 1, 2 p.m. It could have been 5. I don't know. I was like, hey, who's all available tonight? And literally as soon as we got 3, I was like, all right, bet, confirmed. So, yeah, we did not do a thing. I didn't even say who we were playing. I was like, yo, who wants in? So we had 3, we actually had 4. Shout out to Hophead, aka FKA Bust Insider 6996. Forgot the underscore. And we had some great like moral support in chat. We also just had like a really good dynamic going. The one thing that I did say before the game started was we need to talk, because that's something that I've noticed has been a thing in the past for this team. Like there's some games where we can take it a little bit easier and just like joke around, talk about other things. And then there's some games where we really need to concentrate. And I told them before this game, I was like, this is one of those, like, yes, we can joke around, we can have fun, but we need to concentrate. When we're in there, I had said, I was like, have you guys ever watched those like RLCS like teams when they release like a post-LAN video and they're doing comms and stuff like that? That's what we need to be like, where it's just constant noise. I don't care if we're talking over each other, because we all got headphones on. We can hear each other. Like, talk. We will listen, and we will move accordingly. That was the only thing that I said. And it proved effective.
Yeah, and you'll go back and watch the series and hear a commentary, but I mean, we'll be honest. I mean, coming to the series, like, nobody thought it would go. Nobody thought y'all would maybe win one game. I think both me and Maz gave you one game in the prediction, but even that was being generous, right? I mean,
right.
But
before today,
wait, David, just I have a question, bro.
What's up?
When y'all went to Game 5, were y'all a little bit nervous? Because like coming into the series, like
y'all should have had zero nerves, right? Like nobody believed in y'all. Like y'all probably didn't even believe that y'all had a chance to win. But like, dude, going into that game 5, like were there a little bit nervous? Like we could actually beat this team. Like we could actually beat Steel Army.
We weren't nervous because we knew we could win. That game was very winnable. We had our chances. It's just the way that the ball rolls sometimes, you know? It's the way the cookie crumbles. The ball didn't go our way 1 or 2 times, and ultimately that cost us. But no, yeah, we weren't nervous at all. We were pretty confident going into game 5, even though game 4 didn't exactly go great, but we were like, all right, like forget everything that's happened here. And honestly, like the best thing that could have happened in that moment, Elite Stroker hopped into chat right before game 5. He just got back from practice. I don't know what kind of practice. He comes in talking about, hey, is a Slim Jim, a Coca-Cola, and I forget what else he said. He's like, is that a good pre-practice meal? And that was like one of the best things that could have happened, was him coming into chat, because like it just kind of, if there was any tension or any nerves, it washed all that away. And like he really gave us a confidence boost. Also having Hophead FKA Bus Insider _6996 in there the whole time talking to us, that was awesome. So yeah, today was the first time we have not gotten swept by this team. We've never taken a game against Steel Army before today.
I only have really one more question. On game 5, on that last kickoff with 4 seconds left, when that ball like was like rolling to the net, like after I think Bear Blitz missed kickoff, or I don't know what was happening. Were y'all like, did y'all think that y'all were gonna win that? I thought it was like game over, but Raisin Boy's in net. Raisin Boy's in net. This guy is just sitting in the net. I was like, what the hell?
I literally yelled, go! But it obviously the ball ended up bouncing. But yeah, I was like, go. Like, because that ball is floating right there. Yeah, no. I thought that was going to be, I'll be honest, there was like a part in the beginning of overtime where I had like a free ball in the air and it bounced off the ceiling and I didn't read the bounce. If I had read that bounce correctly, I'm sorry, Bear, you were sitting on the goal line. That was a goal, if I read that correctly. There was a couple saves, but I want to talk about Debit, because 2 minutes, like literally up until the 2-minute mark in game 5, that dude was a brick wall. There was one save where I had this ball that had rolled like across the line. I thought it was going to go in. It was like a surefire goal, and he saves it. At that moment, I really thought it was done. I was like, is there nothing that we can do to get the ball into the net? Right as soon as I thought that, who comes in to save the day? Trigga. He's the one who put the ball in the net that got us on the board, and that like really sparked everything.
So I'm gonna jump in right now, pals. One thing I want to talk about is the spacing and the organization in your team. Like there were moments where you guys were still getting in each other's way, but this was way better. Could you really attribute that just to your own communication, or was there something else to it?
I think communication was a big part of it. Just like knowing where each other are on the field. Like that is a lesson on the importance of talking right there. These guys were telling me like, I'm back, I'm behind you, I'm up with you. It was those moments where like we didn't, or like I would move up without saying anything. That was when we would start to like team bump a little bit and stuff like that. I really do think that communication was a part of it. I also think another thing was, I mean, this is the first time in a while that we played the line. This is the first time actually all season that we played the lineup, me, Devin, and Trig. And so I think part of it was just also having that familiarity with each other.
Oh, absolutely.
But communication was a big part.
Yep, the familiarity definitely helps. I mean, the confidence, though, is skyrocket. Yeah, Trig at the chat saying, we're winning the league, and the Dev saying trust. So, I mean,
we were talking about that. We really think we can do this. If we keep going on like this, we were saying in chat that we think that we can beat Steel Army next time we play them. Not we think, we know we can and we will beat Steel Army next time we play them.
Hey,
So, yeah,
calling them out.
Devitt, y'all better watch out because we are coming for you. We have got a glimpse of our potential today, and we're going to use this as a springboard.
There you go. I love to hear that.
that'd be-
One thing I also want to talk about was you guys were getting bumped in demo, and you guys somehow kept your composure. You know, and it's not just you and Devin. I saw Trigger getting bumped around, and the dude would keep control of his car in a way that most people at his level wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
Was that also just a communication thing, or have these guys been practicing and getting used to getting bumped during the games?
I think it was a confidence thing. I'll be honest, for me, it was just a thing of, I know Devitt and Bear Blitz too well. I know that they're going to headhunt. I know that they're going to go straight for me. And, like, I could see them, like, even without seeing or hearing them, like, I knew where they were on the field at certain times. Like, it was just, like, hyper... What was the word? It was just, like, a heightened sense of awareness for me. And, like, these guys had played them before. They knew what to expect. And so it was just a matter of, like, you can bump us all you want, but we don't care. We're still going to do everything we can to get in the way. Because we knew that when we, like, sat back, when we, like, allowed our momentum to stop, when, like, it was those moments where we just, like, we're sitting on the goal line with, like, I don't know, a dandelion in our hands or something like that. Like a 4-year-old playing outfield or something like that. That was the moments where we would get scored on. Yeah, we just knew that if we don't let that stop our momentum and just get in their way regardless, then that was going to yield positive outcomes, and it did.
Well, you know, you talked about momentum. You just have to hope that you can keep this momentum going into next week as well. And on that note, I'm going to give you the floor. Say what you need to say. Shout out whoever you need to shout out. Go ahead, dude. The floor is yours.
That's a mistake. Nah, I'm kidding. So I would like to give a shout out to obviously the entirety of LV. I would like to give a shout out to Bust Insider 6996. I would like to give a shout out to Devin. I would like to give a shout out to Trigger FTW, aka Slender FTW, aka King. I would like to give a shout out to Elite Stroker, Sky, Arglat, literally everybody on the roster, even if they didn't respond or anything like that today. I feel like we've definitely, like, in the short few weeks that we've had together as a team, like, this is the most we've ever, like, talked, like, interacted with each other outside of games and stuff like that. And I think there definitely is, like, a bit of a team culture, like, really starting to emerge. So, yeah, huge shout out to everybody there. Shout out to Steel Army. I would like to shout out, obviously, Maz for running the stream, Luis, and I would like to give a shout out especially to, what's his name? Brandon Vasquez for scoring his first goal in the Verde and Black on Saturday. And one last thing, shout out to the DFW hardcore scene. No reason. I was just, I'm going to a show tomorrow, and that's why we didn't play tomorrow. So, shout out to everybody over there for keeping me sane. And that's all I got.
There you go. Palace, I'll let you go. Enjoy that moment, and hopefully you guys can keep this rolling next week and beyond. GG's,
For sure.
and have a
GG.
good night.
You too. Thank you.
Luis, this feels like one of those moments where, for Los Verdes, this loss feels like a win, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this has got to be just the biggest confidence builder for them. I mean, if they can put up this sort of performance against a team like Steel Army, I mean, they're in really good company, right? So, good confidence builder for them. And then also for Steel Army, man, I mean, you win a series where you're not playing your best. And that's just kind of the Steel Army MO. I mean, these guys, you mentioned in commentary, but they kind of play down or up to the competition, right? And so for Steel Army, they also got to be feeling obviously really, really good. Top of the league, max points.
So both teams can walk away from tonight's series feeling pretty good.
And I think that's the perfect time to take a look at the updated league table right now. Los Verdes, I believe they got swept in their first matchup, right? So that's why they're on 6 points right now, because they got 1 win in week 2 against EM Big Dogs. That felt like a big win as well. And now getting 2 points off of Steel Army, it just feels like they're getting better and better. And they're on the up right now. Meanwhile, you have Steel Army. Perfect record so far. 12 points, sitting comfortably at the top. But as you can see right here, folks, the rest of the teams are at 5 points. You have EC Defiance versus Axe and Rose. They can easily go into second. EM Big Dogs versus BNG Old Timers. Depending on how that match goes, one of these teams could go into second as well. So a lot to play for. A very closely competitive league right now, isn't it?
Yeah, super competitive, and just kind of what we've been seeing over the past couple of seasons of SGL is that the league is constantly seeing more and more parity. And that 12 points for Steel Army, although it looks a bit of an outlier, and it is, it's safe to say it is, they've had some really tough series, and so it's good to see the parity, Maz. We spoke about it before the broadcast, or before the game started, excuse me, that parity is always way better for players, commentators, and of course, viewers and chatters alike.
Big time. Big time. I can't wait to see the rest of the matches for this week. For now, though, I need to go rest my voice. Luis, I'm sure you do as well, because we have a podcast coming up next very soon. So, folks, the stream is not going to end. Oh, no. We're not going to end the stream and take a long break and then come back. No, we're going to go into a short intermission, be out for like 6 or so minutes. Stick around. Once we're done with that, we will be back starting our SGL podcast, episode 2. You don't want to miss this. We're going to recap week 2. We're going to talk about the upcoming Cup tournament. We're going to cover a few other topics here and there, just shoot the shit and all. And we're also going to review some cool freaking clips. So, folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a bit. But before we go away, Luis, do you have anything you want to say right now?
No, appreciate both teams. Appreciate all the chatters. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yes, we will see you guys in a little bit. To kick off the SGL podcast, we will have Luis and Stephen P. Smith, a.k.a. Debit, coming back. Catch you guys in a bit. See you shortly.